Not long ago, Simpleshot released some new frames that were designed by Mark Seljan, the Slant Roller and the Stylus Revolve. Well, the other day, somebody asked me something in regards to those two frames in one of my videos in the comments, and I thought to myself, this looks like a good teachable moment for a lot of people, so stick around, we're going to talk about it. The question that was asked to me was, should I get the Slant Roller or the Stylus Revolve? You know, some people don't necessarily have the money to just go out and buy both frames. They are in a situation where they have to choose. And I thought that was a great question, and it opens the door to a lot of discussion. First, I want to say I don't believe the Slant Roller and the Stylus Revolve are an apples to apples comparison. I believe these frames exist in two different universes, in my personal opinion. And here's what I mean. This here is the Stylus Revolve. Now, I decided to put some pants on mine. I always like to put black hockey tape whenever I can. That or heat shrink, but I don't have any heat shrink, so I just use black hockey tape. But if you look at this frame, it's very thin, very narrow, and it's very light. I personally am not going to use this frame for a heavy setup. So if you're just somebody who wants to plink and you want to shoot light ammo, well, this is right up your alley. Now, I'm not saying you can't shoot heavy with a light frame, because there's slingshot guys out here that can do anything. There's guys that shoot with no frame. But typically a lighter frame has more recoil. Now, I put some light bands on this Stylus Revolve, and I believe this is some of that Falcon that I got from Jordan Smothers. This is just good for light plinking. So let's now talk about the Slant Roller. It's a lot shorter of a frame, but it's short and it's stocky. It's heavy. And I've got a very heavy band set up on this Slant Roller, and this is how I hold it. I like to tuck my fingers in that little hole and do kind of a thumb brace grip on this. I've got a very tight, secure grip on this thick frame. And when I draw back with these heavy bands, I feel like I've got a nice bit of control. In fact, I would contend that this is heavy enough to be a hunting setup. I'm gonna shoot some 3/8 steel. Gosh, man, that thing hit so hard. I bet it left a nasty dent in that can. Yeah, there's where I clipped it, right up top here. You see, I've got these bands set up for my draw length, so they're not very long. So these are 0.7 bands hooked up to this Slant Roller frame. So when I pull this back, this is allowing me to shoot with a lot of power. At the same time, I have less recoil with this fat frame. Now, I want to share something for those who are new to the slingshot world. I've got this as a heavy setup to shoot steel, 5/16, 3/8, things like that. But if I try to shoot clay ammo in this heavy setup, I'm gonna get something that's called band slap. Band slap is something that happens when you're shooting ammo that's too light for your band setup. Like if you got like your band set up to shoot, you know, heavier steel, and you try to throw a clay round in there, or maybe a 1/4 inch steel, you might get a little slap on the hand. Most of the time, if I'm shooting light, I'm shooting clay, and that's really how I shoot most of the time. The only time I shoot really heavy is if I'm trying to do some sort of power demonstration or if I was going to hunt. One of the factors that led to me even creating this video was an experimentation that I did putting a heavy setup on the Slant Roller. I was very pleased with how well I was able to shoot this frame under a heavy setup. So ideally speaking, if you just want to get out and shoot fast and shoot light and shoot comfortable, well, the Stylus Revolve with some light bands, Simpleshot's got the practice bands that you can get. That just makes for a wonderful shooting experience, and I would recommend the Stylus Revolve for that kind of shooter. But let's just say that you like to hunt, you like to shoot fast and hard, and you like the design of the Slant Roller. That one is most definitely for you. Now, I want to stay balanced, because even though I have presented the Slant Roller as the better frame to shoot a heavier setup, you can still shoot a light setup with the Slant Roller. So ultimately, in deciding which one of those designs you want to pick up first comes down to, number one, which design do you like the best? Which one are you most stylistically drawn to because they look nothing alike? If you like to shoot light, either one will work for you depending upon your taste. But if you want to shoot heavy, my recommendation is the Slant Roller. And if you're like me, you like to do everything. You know, most slingshot shooters can't get enough frames, but you know, not everybody's in that situation. Some people have to choose what they're going to get. They have to be selective depending upon, you know, where you are financially, what part of the world you're in, and all that kind of stuff. I like to do videos like this because I don't want to assume that everybody can afford to just buy all the frames. Some have to choose. I want to take a moment to share something that I think might be helpful toward those who are new to the game. If you're new to my channel, one thing you'll learn pretty quick is I'm very partial towards Simpleshot frames. I'm very biased when it comes to Simpleshot. In fact, I am a Simpleshot affiliate or ambassador. I believe in that company. In fact, I got into slingshots because of them. I started off using a Daisy slingshot and couldn't do anything with it, but when I started stumbling upon Simpleshot videos and products and their resources, it changed the game for me completely. Now, since I've come to know Simpleshot, I've also discovered that there are many other great companies out there, and I'm not here to take away from any of them because I have gleaned from them also. But Simpleshot will always hold a special place in my heart when it comes to slingshots. When I hold a Simpleshot frame in my hand, I'm holding something that I believe is set apart from everything else. In fact, I want to show you this board I made for my Hall of Frames. So a while back, I made this display for my top 5 Simpleshot frames. From left to right, it includes the original Scout XT, the one and only, the OG Scout. The original Torque slingshot frame allows for loop tubes and flat bands. The new Scout X, which is my baby right now, it's a hybrid between this frame and this frame. The Torque X, which is a much better feel in a hand than this one in my opinion, but it doesn't allow for loop tubes, but it's super stylish and fun to shoot. And the ultimate comfortable Scout LT. If you've just started shooting or you've been shooting for a while and you want to go out and take a look at these frames, I'll provide a link to every single one of them in the description section. Just know that I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have found it helpful and resourceful, and I can't wait to catch up next time. Take care.